Welcome back to the Highfields Sports Complex here at the University of Nottingham. It's a beautiful evening now as we have our final game of the day, and it comes from the Men's Open competition as Wales take on Scotland. And I'm delighted to say that Ben Meakin joins me for this final game of the day.
Good evening.
Good evening to you. Good morning, good afternoon and good evening.
Depending on where you are in the world. Hopefully there's some people in good morning.
Well, this is both teams' third game of the day as Wales start us off. They are, of course, in their traditional red, Scotland in their traditional navy blue. Wales going from right to left in this first half. Good touch by Scotland as Wales go back to the 7 metre, but just quickly run through the results. Wales with 2 losses, 19-2 to France and 18-1 to England. Scotland also 2 losses, but closer games.
That was a score for Wales. It's a good way to start this game, and we'll just look at this on the replay if it comes up. It actually it's a middle quickie. The player steps back and hits the ball in, throws the ball into a link hole, with a link chopping, going through and dots the ball down. So a very good start for Wales. And as you say, I think both teams have had difficult days. They've both played very difficult teams.
Scotland losing 10-5 to Ireland, but then a very, very close 8-7 loss to France as well.
Yeah.
But Wales have had 2 quite heavy defeats. That's straight through, and Scotland are straight back on level terms.
And that was a simple 32 counties play. So 32 counties is where the player that's dumping the ball actually steps in instead of out and gets the ball back, so he's live, so he can look to score. He's then looking at where hole either he scores or what hole he can hit. And Lewis just threw the ball to hole 1, and the link's not shut in, and Scotland have come back and it's 1-1.
So Wales start again from halfway as the sun just disappears behind the clouds. Touch is made. It's Kyle Owen with the ball. He drops it down to Adam Thomas. Kyle Owen has it back again. Thomas through the middle. Back to Owen, but touch is made.
Just a little follow play. The Scotland defence knew what was happening. So they went for a quickie first time, and then they've gone for a scoop with a little follow. It didn't work though. Scotland are looking to just drive the field now, try and get some subs on. And this is what Scotland have always been very good at. They're looking to get on the pitch with speed and drive down the centre of the... Well, actually, they're going to go out for a 32 touch.
This is...
They actually had extra touches there.
Stopped in his tracks though. Charlie Brett has to hand the ball back over to Wales. Fast start to this one with both teams on the scoreboard.
Bit of a stutter start to this set from Wales. I think they're ready to go on 4th touch, maybe 5th, 3rd, 4th. 5th coming now, they're not even halfway.
And that's, I think it may have been forward. Mind you, it looks like there's a penalty against Scotland, so Wales have the ball back.
Looks like they were offside, so a tap offset here for Wales. See if they can set up that quickie that they did in the first set. Just an open side quickie, step back, trying to.
Long pass out to the left hand side. It's intercepted. Oh, I think no touch isn't given.
I think
Has Stuart Gibson got the legs? I think he has. He dives in. Brilliant. Full length of the field run by Stuart Gibson. And Scotland lead 2-1. I thought the touch had been made. Let's see if we get that on the replay.
Yeah, just watching that. The winger grabs the ball. And does the link
It's just
the touch?
here.
No, it's a game of honesty. He didn't put his hand up. So fair play to him. And he's gone full field.
I didn't think he was going to have the legs because James Betterson was really coming up at a rate of knots.
Caught him.
Yeah. But fair play to Stuart Gibson. He found the legs and he got over the line, dived through, and Scotland lead 2-1.
Wales need something here to try and hit back quickly.
They've got space over on the right hand side, but ball finds neither, and Scotland are back in possession once again.
Yeah, so Adam Thomas tried to scoop through short side there, couldn't get in goal, and he couldn't give the overlap pass either. So nothing coming off that one for Wales.
Here's comes Scotland again. Down goes it, coming at some real rate of knots, and it's found Stuart Gibson again. Wide on the right hand side, and Scotland lead 3-1, and Stuart Gibson has his second try of the game.
Yeah, so it looks like they're doing what the Scottish are doing. They're trying to get their winger to pick up out of half on third, and then they sent it into the middle with a sweeper, and as that sweeper comes back round towards that winger, he actually gets on the open side and just throws the ball to the wing.
It was interesting to see how fast Scotland were attacking there. There's just some real speed in that attack.
Yeah, absolutely. The way Scotland, from whether it's mixed men's or women's at open division, they come off from the sub box onto the field with real intensity to try and drive the defence back, and they've done that two times in a row now, and they've scored each time. So I think you'll see that again now.
Yeah, Wales using up their set of 6. Here they come. They are very, very quick, this Scottish team. Already so 10 metres.
Going to do the same thing.
Final touch. Touch is claimed and given. So Wales will have the ball back. Scotland have it again.
I actually think that it was a forward pass from the Wales off the ruck. So when that ball was put on the floor, it was actually passed to the runner forward. So another chance for Scotland here. We'll see what their static game's like. Same setup as last time. Louis on a 32 county. He steps back, gets the ball, steps short side and scores.
It's given Lewis Burns with the latest try for Scotland. And it is 4-1, and we've only played 7.5 minutes. And Wales, who were runners-up in 2018, are in real trouble at the moment.
Yeah, I think Wales this year, in the men's open division especially, are looking to build for the future. They're looking to build for the next European Championships and the World Cup in 24. They've obviously got some good players, as you can see here, with the quickie step back and throw to the wing. It was just made good touch by the Scotland far wing.
Oh, I think he's got through, has he?
Yeah.
Yes, he has.
So there we go. They've got very good skills. So that was a very shallow side of the pitch, and they've stepped back. The middle step back and throwing the ball left to right, and the wing has just got through. It's a very good ball and a very good finish.
And the ball going out from Adam Thomas to the wing. Down it goes, and it is 4-2. Scotland not having it all their own way.
And I think the results today show that they're not going to get their own way, but currently they're probably a bit more on top.
Oh, great dummy and dive through, and he's got it.
Was that Charlie Brett?
It was Charlie Brett indeed.
So this is the first time that Scotland have actually shown this in this game. They've run I've actually lost the name, a hammer. So what a hammer is, essentially the link runs a straight line. He is looking to create an overlap, and as he does that big dummy, he then causes the defence to go, and he's able to dive at the line.
Work to perfection there.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be interesting to see the progression of the Scotland attack here in the next couple of minutes.
So not even 10 minutes into the game, Scotland 5-2 up, 7 tries already.
It's definitely frantic, and there's definitely some good scores going on.
I was unlucky. He tried to spin away from the defender. As it is for Scotland. I'm amazed at the speed that Scotland have in their ranks. They're easily the quickest team I think I've seen today.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you look at, and sometimes that speed actually causes you to step over the mark, as what's just happened there. But if you look at the top tier of European teams here at men's open level, they'll all be looking to be sprinting every time that they get the ball, and you'll see that pace and intensity pretty much 90% of the time. And it's essentially in men's open who can run quicker and have the least amount of errors. I think we've seen a few games with quite a few errors, where if you can run quick and have the least amount of errors, then you will go a long way to winning.
Because we haven't seen England on the streaming pitch in the men's open yet, but of course another team who have a great deal of speed, and that Galaxy trio that they have of Louis Treyes and John Weston Stanley and Camille Shabadine, that they're incredibly quick.
Yes, absolutely. I think you're also looking at the likes of the England captain Dom Tripp and
great
the
take.
Scorpions, Will Cold. They lead that line with that speed. But even moving on to Ireland men's open, I think you'll see them running with even more ferocity in how they run as well. And I think that was just another score for Wales, was it?
Yeah, they've got it to within 2. Great pass out to the wing, and Wales using the wing to great effect in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. So every score so far has actually been a step back throw, either link hole or into the link chopping or the wing scoring. So it'll be interesting to see if Scotland can change their defence now to eliminate that, because that is the only way they're scoring.
Churchy's claimed.
Yeah, that was Charlie Brett running the same hammer. Instead of stepping back, he went short side to see if he could take on the touching player. So it might happen again. They're going to send the sweeper instead. Charlie Brett going around on the sweep, and he's fired it to the winger, but the Wales winger was there in the passing line, and unfortunate not to catch that.
So nearly an interception. Here's Woody have
gone 70 metres. Hopefully a winger could. That's why I play at link.
Space there, and down it goes, and I think that is 6-3. It is
6-3, and Charlie Brett's at the heart of that one again. He picks up at half, and instead of scooping, he throws a long ball. It's just a 32 long, and to the other middle, and because the defensive middle's tucking under, the person that receives the ball is able to get on the outside and slide dive in.
Yeah, Marshall McLeod going over there. So Scotland 6-3 ahead now.
It's a real shootout here, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a really open game, just like the last game we saw in the Women's Open between Ireland and Wales, and now Scotland and Wales, with a really open game of touch rugby, great attacking as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to see the amount of skills that have improved over the years, as Wales get a new set of 6 for a knockdown. They're going to look for another quickie on the outside, but the defensive players back on side, so that'll be touch 3.
Back it comes again.
So he's just doing what Louis did last time in for Scotland. 32 count, he stepped in, link hole, but the link couldn't go through there, and the wing made the touch. Good defensive read.
Scotland coming through again.
Yeah.
But they over the mark, was it?
No, it was actually a touch and pass. The Scotland guy thought he had got past the Welsh player, but he managed to make the touch just before he passed the ball. So another attacking set for Wales. I think they need to probably try and convert one of these now to try and get back in the game with the scoreline at 6-3.
Yeah, if they get it within 2.
Has he? He hasn't, but it's
No.
a penalty for not advancing forward.
So fresh set of 6 for Wales on the 7 metre. They make a change.
Just bringing on maybe an attacking link. They're going to set up as Quickie.
Diving through.
And good defensive touch by the link. He thought he'd scored. He threw it back to
He threw it
halfway.
back.
We've all done that when we thought we've scored. He's going to set up a Quickie again, see what they can do.
Oh, he's diving through. I think this time, has he got it?
No.
No, it's still another touch.
The defensive link, so the person next to the toucher is helping his defender out really well. He's enabling him to make the touch. So.
Oh, great switch pass. And I think that time...
No, it's great defence again. So Wales have set up for that. They've run 2 quickies, so they're running on the out, and then they run a follow. So the defensive middle knew that was coming, and then saw and changed his direction and got onside.
I think that's a fresh set of 6 for a heavy touch.
That's not good.
No. Oh.
They're always nasty ones when no one's around you.
I think it's Callum Anderson.
Yeah, no, Callum Smith.
Number 11.
Yeah, Callum Smith.
It's my eyes don't stretch.
Both 10 and 11 are Callum. So Wales here setting up for a 32.
Touch claimed and given.
5th touch, so Scotland haven't actually set up a 5th touch. They just need to go off the cuff now. And it's always hard to score on 5th touch without any set-up play. Let's see if Wales can get on and off the pitch comfortably this time.
They need a good drive here.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like they're struggling to get to halfway from their own box. The winger needs to get to half.
That's 3 touches. It's going to be 4, I think, before they get to halfway.
Yeah. The difference currently is how quick Wales are coming on the pitch compared to Scotland. Sorry, how quick Scotland are coming on the pitch compared to Wales.
Just got in each other's way, and that is 6 touches, and Scotland 10 metres away from halfway.
You'd be happy that as a Scotland player here.
Oh, that's great speed. Scotland have been very good at dragging the play from one side to another, using the whole width of the pitch. And here they are at the 7 metre. Half needs to find someone spare and does so, and I think that is a try for Scotland.
It is.
Indeed it is. 7-3 Scotland lead.
And Scotland here are running the same subbing pattern and transition pattern as they've done all game so far. They go to the wing, they go to the far side winger, the winger gets the half, gives the ball to someone driving in between the 2 middles, and then you've got I think it was Louis there.
It was Lewis Burns.
Lewis Burns who scooped through, got through the middle, and
James Pinkerton putting the ball down.
Yeah,
it was a great run, and he held the ball for a while as well, looking for an open teammate
right
to pass to. And that's a great skill in itself when you're in the end zone.
Being calm.
Being
calm under that pressure,
Well, that's a good pass out. Can you get it down? Yes, he can. Wales pull the try straight back. It was James Bettinson.
So
great pass by Cowley Lowen.
Yeah, absolutely. So Wales have just sent a sweeper, so they've sent a person on the outside. They've got on the outside, and they've 3 versus 2, and it had to be a good pass to finish that one off, and they managed to do it. Wales are within 3 now.
So 7-4.
Scotland send a sweep around. Can Charlie Brett get in that? No. Good defence, both touching middle and covering middle were both tucking under. Now they settle for a 32. Long ball.
Down it goes. Yes, I think that's going to be given. I think that's Marshall McLeod.
Yeah, same score that they did about 3 or 4 scores ago. They've gone for a 32. The defending midfield middle tucks under, so they throw the ball long, and he just gets on the outside. I think Wales would have to do something to try and counteract that. Maybe get their link to snipe in and try and hit that player who receives the ball, and try and make the Scotland players think about something different.
Only 30 seconds from half time, and it has flown by this half.
It really
12
has.
tries. And you know, this is the 3rd game of the day for both of these teams, and there's been no let up in pace whatsoever.
Defence has definitely been optional by the looks of it, but it has been a fast and ferocious game.
And, well, they will get a rest for 5 minutes now. As all the players come back to their sub box. Ben, that was a great half of attacking rugby.
It was a bit of a spectacle of, you know, in Europe how people can score, you know, from sweepers to long balls to quickies. It's just interesting to see how now the teams change that to try and counteract those attacks and see if their defences can win in this second half.
Yeah, it was Wales who opened the scoring, but then Scotland scored 4 unanswered.
They did, and they did most of them by the same thing, really, transitioning off the field, so taking their substitutes off, bringing substitutes on, and, you know, using their speed to get down the pitch.
This is a great interception by Stuart Gibson, who ran the whole length of the field to put the ball down, and then very quickly 2-1 became 3-1 as Gibson scored again. And then 4-1. Wales got back into it though. That was 4-2 in the corner. And then Scotland restored their 3-point lead. Wales weren't going away though.
I don't think they will the whole game, even if they are behind by 3 or 4 each throughout the whole game. They'll stick in it, and, you know, they're proud to play for the country. They always want to beat Scotland, and it's one of those rivals that you'll never give up in.
It has been exceptionally quick as well. Some great pace from this Scotland side, and that was a fabulous try. Down in the corner, and here is the final try of the half that made it 8-4. Marshall McLeod going through and popping it down. So here are some of the tables that we have. So in the men's 40, France leading. In the men's 45s, England 3 out of 3, with Wales 2 wins and 1 loss. Portugal currently at the bottom with 3 losses from 3. In the women's 35s, it's England top, 2 wins from 2 games played. Ireland and Wales a win and a loss, and Scotland with 2 losses. And in the men's 50, England 2 from 2, Ireland and Singapore a win and a loss each, and Wales with 2 losses. I'm interested to see Singapore on this pitch tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. My father-in-law actually plays for the England men's 50s, so good to see him at the top of the table there after day 1. But yeah, Singapore, you know, it's amazing that they've been able to make it over for this competition and give the home nations from Europe a bit of a challenge.
Men's open table just driving through there. Ireland and France at the top with a 100% record, and then in the Women's Open it's England and Wales who are on top with 2 wins out of 2 from the 2 games played today. Of course, Ireland and France 3 out of 3 in the Men's Open, as we said, and this is the Mixed Open, 10 teams in that one.
Big division.
And England on top with 2 wins out of 2. Wales also with 2 wins out of 2. Bulgaria, who we saw earlier, managing a couple of tries in their second game, and a 10-2 loss after a 17-0 loss. So we said at the time that taking that improvement into the second game, and that's what they seem to have done.
Absolutely, for them, it's all about building, and getting a couple of scores on is going to be a massive aim for them, and they've already achieved that. So, what can they do next? Can they try and sneak a win against someone? It's possible, so we'll have to wait and see, but we'll see.
It's a big division, that Mixed Open, with 10 teams in it. So
yeah, as we're developing in Europe, and touch develops in smaller touch countries around Europe, when you've only got 20 males and 20 females playing, it's easy to bring a mixed team together rather than a men's and women. So you'll see more mixed teams over the divisions for that reason, really, and then hopefully over the development you'll see more men's and women's.
And it's Scotland with the perfect start to the second half for them. So it's Marshall McLeod again going over.
It was exactly the same score that they actually ended up scoring in the last play of the first half. It was a 32 platform. It was just a long ball. The Wales defender keeps tucking under, and he's able to. The attackers are able to get on the outside. I think Wales need to really change up their defensive policy for that play. We'll see if they, if their coaches can ask them to do it and if they can execute it. Otherwise, Scotland will keep doing it.
Oh, Wales got to the 7 metre from the tap off. They've got touches to play with as it comes out to the right hand side, but just can't quite get it down. It was a great pass to the right hand side as well.
Yeah, it was a great left to right. Winger wasn't as open as probably the person who threw the ball thought, but the defensive winger got there.
And it's turned back over to Scotland, starting from their own 7 metre.
Oh, that's a coach killer, that is, unfortunately.
We've heard that one mentioned before.
Start of the set, and they kick the ball instead of rolling it. So Wales have got to go to work and get another score. Scotland have got to go and get the stop to try and get over that coach killer.
Yeah, I think Kyle Owen trying to go over, but I don't think he actually reached the line as he slid through. It was something that Mel mentioned in the last game, is the fact that we have had rain this afternoon, but we've also had a lot of sunshine and a lot of wind, and it seems to have dried the pitch out really quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. So what it's great for, obviously it being so dry, is the speed that you mentioned earlier. It's like, if it's wet, you can't run as quick, you can't change your direction as quick, but then what you'd lose is the quick step and dive and stuff in the 7 metres. So you need a bit of both, really. If you could keep it dry but slidey, that would be brilliant, please.
This is going on the pitch overnight with some Vaseline or something.
I think a lot of players will start, as we start to get into the tournament, they'll actually start to put Vaseline on their elbows and knees, because the ground starts to harden up. If you look at Wimbledon, for instance, when people play on it for two weeks, and that's another score by Scotland. Yeah.
So it's a 10th for Scotland as they go 10-4 ahead. But it's something else that Mel and myself were talking about is how beautiful this pitch looks. I mean, considering the weather we've had here in Nottingham, we've had very, very little rain over the last few weeks. As you can see by the field to our right hand side, it's very, very brown. But this pitch is absolutely lush green. It's beautiful.
Well, I think they got voted the best university sports ground in the UK, didn't they? I actually drove past here about 4 weeks ago, and it was as brown as what the surroundings were. And then obviously they've just used maybe a bit of irrigation, a bit of rain that we've had, and obviously we've had quite a lot of sun recently. So I'm now giving a science lesson, aren't I?
Yeah.
But I think you'll see over the next few days it will start to dry out. A bit like I said, the Wimbledon, you see that dries out and goes quite brown over the 2 weeks. I think you'll start to see that as well. And that will cause issues for players when they're diving as well.
Yeah, I think the forecast for the rest of the week is sunshine all the way through to Saturday.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be interesting to see how the pitch is holding up on Saturday. There's a lot of games to be played on here.
Yeah, 12 games a day for 5 days. It's a lot of games.
Scotland bursting through again. I think that is the 11th. Indeed it is.
Yeah, so what happened here, Scotland run, it's what we call a passive play. So instead of chopping your whole way, Scotland step back and they throw the ball behind the first runner, and the Scotland player is just running towards the wing, and then obviously the wing has cut in and got the ball when no one's followed underneath to do the second work, and the Scotland wingers dotted the ball down for another score.
Here come Wales again. So they're up to the 7 metre. Oh, nice. Passes it down. No, I think the touch was made before Kyle Owen could put the ball down.
Yeah, I think he probably could have scored himself. He actually had the opportunity to. He dummied the ball inside, went through, and then passed it again. He could have just dotted it down, and then he's just been pinged for not throwing the ball back or giving the ball back in a timely manner. So Wales will have a fresh set. They're going away from the box to start. I think a Wales hand was in there, so they'll get another fresh set just inside their own half.
So Scotland again, they make the changes, but the speed, they are coming forward still. Already at the 7 metres. It's a great drive by Scotland, and it's a great pass out, and it's a great try.
Yeah, it's another well constructed try here from Scotland. They've been doing the same thing every time they substitute on. The person that gets the ball comes to the near side, so at the near side, the Welsh box side. The winger goes to half. They've got the 2 middles driving in, and actually this time they sent a sweeper, and the sweeper's given the ball straight back to the winger, and yeah, it's just a nice little score there.
Wales coming straight back from the tap off though. It's a good drive. She's seen them get to the 7 metre. Got a couple of touches to play with as well. Out long again. Oh, it just didn't quite make it, and Scotland have the ball back.
Yeah, so that's the first time we've seen Wales actually try something other than the quickie. They've done a quickie QB, so instead of the quickie player getting the ball back, they've actually given it back to the half. And that causes the defence to collapse, and it was the right pass, just probably not the right execution, as Scotland do their subbing pattern again. Sweepers come round, Lewis has stepped back and gone into hole 1. It's gone through and scored.
Yeah, Lewis Burns scoring again, and it's just getting a little bit too easy for Scotland now.
And that's the problem with 3 games a day, especially when you played the first game and the last game. You know, your legs are going to start getting tired, and if you're not as fit as you should be, or not as fit as the opposition, should we say, then these games can be really, really tiring.
Yeah, it's tough for Wales now. They're well behind. And they've given the ball back to Scotland, and it's not been an issue for Scotland driving from their own 7 metre. Oh, but another coach killer.
Yeah, he tried to make the touch, but the Welsh defender just got out of the way, so no touch made, and it's a turnover. I'd like to see Wales try and run something a little bit different here, other than the static quickies, because it's very predictable right now.
Goes out to the right. Oh, it's just fumbled.
I mean, that one did work and the winger could have caught it, but obviously, as you say, fumbled it, Jono. But I would like to see something a bit different here.
Yeah. Owain Tugwell. And we have seen it work.
Yeah, absolutely, it has worked, but the Scotland defence now know it's coming and it'll be interesting, and they're able to stop it most of the time now.
And Scotland go again, and again they're very, very quickly up at halfway. Great speed.
They're going to run the same setup here, the middles, and then we've got a sweeper. Is he going to go short side? And the link knew it was coming this time. They've run it a few times, and he's made the touch as he throws the ball back inside.
Ran out of touches, but play on, and Wales are going to score. Kyle Owen runs the length of the pitch, or 3/4 of it at least, and pops the ball down, but I think he's hurt himself. Or has he got a bit of cramp?
I think he might have a bit of cramp by the looks of that.
Is he?
I think the whole play to the whistle comes into that one, really, doesn't it? Referees had set the 10-metre mark. Scotland didn't get onside, allowed the play through, and he's gone all the way. And it looks like the way they're stretching him out and trying to pick him up, he has got cramp.
Yeah. At least it didn't strike until he crossed the.
Yeah, absolutely. He's gone for the glory first, and then he's pulled up with cramp. Day 3, though, that's the problem. Game 3 of day 1. I mean, game 3 of day 3 would be really difficult.
Scotland go through again, and again it's another try for Scotland. So it's tit for tat tries at the moment. Wales scoring, Scotland scoring. This time Callum Anderson going over. 13-5 Scotland lead now. Still 9 minutes left in this game. I wouldn't like to bet what the final scoreline is going to be.
No, I agree. I think it's been a tough day for people. They're obviously feeling the effects of 3 games. It's a tough category this year, the Men's Open. They've got 14 games, so when you're playing 14 games, we've got another intercept. Oh, he's struggling, is he? I think he might go, but he's not going to do it very often.
It's Stuart Gibson again, and he's going to dive, and he's going to dive over again.
I think he's going to give the old substitute "I need a break" signal here.
And he gets the try. He's
yeah, he is. He's jogging off. He needs a break.
Yeah, he's just said something to the referee with a smile, and that's a second intercepted try that Stuart Gibson has had, and that's his hat trick as well.
So I was actually speaking to the Scotland Men's Open coach earlier today, and they were saying, the Men's Open winger is one of the most specialist positions. So you need to be in the right position to block the passing channel, and that's what he's done twice today. So he's obviously earned his. I wouldn't say they'll have a beer after this, but he's definitely earned his food. Let's say.
He's earned his orange squash.
That's absolutely. Well, it depends on what their recovery is, what recovery they want. If they want a beer, fair play. I will be. But I'm not playing tomorrow.
Oh, that's a good pass, but not quite taken. It was a nice quick pass into the middle.
Yeah, it was a nice quickie step back into hole 1. I think if you caught it, you would have scored.
There's Johan Sexton. Scotland come again, and they're really gaining yards so rapidly on pretty much every drive that they're doing. And again, there's space.
So they actually went without a touch this time. Instead of going to the winger, they just checked back inside, ran the sweeper play.
Yeah, Rowan Chillingworth.
Oh, and we've got another score.
Yes, and it is another score.
I think that was just a step back into a 3-on-2 and a simple 2-on-1 to score on the wing.
15-5 now, Scotland lead. 20 tries in the game. Wales come back again. And the thing is, it's not really been a 15-5 game like the scoreline suggests, really.
No, you're right. I think Wales have definitely they've got up there. They've got to the Scotland defensive line several times. I think they just needed to either change their plan in attack. It looks very single-minded, but I think the biggest difference here, and we're going to probably show it again, Scotland are subbing on with so much intensity that when they do get the ball in the scoop, you know, they get in goal pretty much every single time. Obviously they've not scored this one, but your end result is exactly the same. They get into that dead ball zone, and that's where they would love to end up.
Wales have it back, but they're very, very deep. Whistle has gone, and I think it's a turnover.
No, it's actually offside, so I think it'll be Wales' ball. They'll have a fresh set of 6. But as you can see in the Wales sub box here, I think they're definitely feeling the effects of 3 games. There's
a lot of recovery, sitting down, hands on hips, head in hands. That is a tired-looking team, which you would only expect, considering they played, what will this be, 2 hours of rugby when this is finished during today, and they've probably got the same to come again tomorrow.
And the next 4 days, unfortunately. I know these men's open are back on at 8:45 tomorrow, so they're the last on today and first on tomorrow. So, you know, we're saying men's open is, you know, the quickest. Now, let's see if you can do it for 14 games, and I think the best will, and obviously the ones that don't will not see the result. And here we go, you've got the same subbing pattern, and they just get on there. They get the ball to the winger who dots it down,
and yeah, a forlorn looking Welsh side now.
It looks like Owen Tugwell's shirt's off. I think he's off for his ice bath.
Yeah, I think the ice bath will be very well used by the Welsh camp tonight.
Absolutely. I think most people will be using ice baths if they can. Obviously, recovery at this point, leading into day 2, is crucial, and your recovery is just as important as playing. Essentially, if you can't recover well to be match fit tomorrow, then you're going to struggle. Oh, nice little flick inside. Oh, unlucky. Good flick. Good defence too.
Yeah, it was a really, really good flick. Scotland again using the sub box well. We've got 3 minutes remaining in the game. Oh, this space again, but it's a great dummy. And Rowan Chillingworth pops the ball down. It's 17-5.
Yeah, and there's nothing different to probably the last 4 or 5 scores now. It's exactly the same setup. The Scotland players are coming on. They send a sweep around to the Wales' short side, and they're being unstuck every single time. And I think they're just getting a bit tired now, Wales.
Wales at the 7 metre, looking to get at least something else out of the game. I mean, they've scored 5 tries. I mean, it's not as if they've not contributed to this game.
No, they have definitely. You know, I think they've made opportunities, and they've just created another one. Actually, for the first time, they've run a 32 instead of a 32 short instead of a quickie, and it actually nearly scored. So I think changing it up would definitely be a help. midfield is probably where the game's been won and lost comfortably.
Right. There's Wales coming again as a thicker cloud starts to come over the University Sports Complex.
Take my sunglasses off.
It's been a strange day of weather today, it really has. Rain, cloud, sunshine, but all the while it's just been incredibly humid.
Yeah, I think Mel Day said it earlier. I think she said it was muggy, and it's probably the right word. We've had every other climate as well, so yes, it's been one of those days. Hopefully we get a bit more of a steady weather the next few days.
Scotland come again, nice switch back into the middle. Ball goes down. Oh, that's a great take. Oh, that's a great pass. What a fantastic try that was.
Yeah, absolutely. So actually Scotland go the opposite way to what they've been doing. They actually do a step back and throw a passive line. So you'll see here, Scooper takes off, step left. He throws behind the person that dumped the ball. He's obviously falling, and it's a great little flick pass.
And that is going to be the final play. It's 18-5, an emphatic victory for Scotland. And Scotland, after 2 losses, a heavy victory, which will give them a lot of momentum into tomorrow.
Yes.
Wales work to do, 3 losses from 3, but they will take some heart from that, I think.
Absolutely. I mean, fair play to Wales. They kept going. They've had a really tough day. The teams that they've played, they've had a really tough day. So hopefully they'll get to play teams that they can try and compete with tomorrow, and try and get some scores and wins on the board.
Well, it looks like we are done here for commentaries. Thanks for being with us all day today. We're going to hand over to the studio. Ian is with Mel and Jordan. Over to you, Ian.
Well, I think, what can we say about Jono over there in the commentary box, our lead commentator? He has talked us through 11 of the 12 games, hasn't he? That man has earned himself a stiff drink tonight, I think, hasn't he? He really has. Well, there we have it. Day 1 of the 2022 European Touch Championship draws to a close, and what a day it has been. We've had high scores, we've had tight games, we've had frantic action, we've had a bit of muscle out there as well. Mel, what have you made of it?
I think it's been a fantastic day. It's great to see the debut of some new countries like Bulgaria. I think that's been fantastic to see, and some really tight contests, and it builds up for tomorrow. Ireland, Wales Women's Open. Tomorrow we're going to see Wales, England Women's Open.